Viewer discretion is advised.
Our people didn't travel seas. Our people didn't freaking move to New Zealand and buy houses just for us to be bums.
Mandate.
Hey, welcome to Mandate, where we navigate fresh perspectives and nothing is off the table. And so tonight our guest hails all the way from Manarua, Ruahard, originally from Otara, but he's a young entrepreneur, but also an establishing businessman early on. And so put into the mix, you have a barber shop as well in his establishment and the Brown Pride gym, but also a music producer as well. But the core of his heart really is about supporting his community and his people in terms of health and well-being. Please give it up for the innovative young Johnnie Timu.
Thanks. You forgot to mention, he's from the prestigious, the number one school in all of Aotearoa.
And the whole world.
The whole world.
Galaxy. Oh yeah. Awesome. Johnny, also, hey, I think it's just appropriate that we kind of acknowledge the good work you're doing also. I know you're doing amazing things with our community and our people as well, but also just want to say kudos to you, kudos and awesome work for what you're doing in terms of what you're doing out there in the Brown Pride. But first of all, just for the viewers who don't know who you are, it'd be nice to kind of give them a bit of a teaser, a bit of a glimpse of who you are and what you stand for also before we kind of delve into other aspects of your experience and your journeys.
Oh, Siki. Firstly, thanks again for having me. And yeah, I'm just Johnnie Timu from South Auckland. Hail from Rewa, proud Rewa boy. In a nutshell, run Brown Pride along with my good mates. Run Brown Pride. Brown Pride is a social enterprise. For those that don't know what a social enterprise is, a business that runs business in order to give back to their charity cause. So Brown Pride set up as a limited liability business as well as a incorporated society. And so we run business like our barber shop and running our gym memberships in order to fund our free stuff, which is our recording studio for youth, as well as like programs for youth and free workouts for young ones. So that's what we do. We're just up the road here in Manukau. And we've been running for I think 2-3 years. We've been in that building for just over 1 year. Wow. Yeah, that's what we're up to at the moment. Yeah.
Oh man, awesome.
That's
I know you're dying to ask questions. Check it, man.
Just really proud to have a young Lasallian, young Polynesian brother, really wanting the best for our people and giving back to our community. So your organization's called Brown Pride. What does that mean to you? Our
mission from the get was to empower our people through fitness, arts and community. Fitness in ways of like our boot camps in the gym, and then arts with the barbershop. I feel like barbershop is an underrated art within the Polynesian community. And music, our music studio, and then the community is just the vibes that we bring. We run like feeding the homeless here and there, and like going out and cutting the hair for free, just things like that. It's just gives you that feel good feeling. And it's nothing new to Polys. So Brown Pride is more like a statement, like we're proud to be brown. I know these days we're all trying to be like the American or the stuff we see on hip hop and things like that, but I feel like it branches off heaps of stuff. Like we should just be proud of who we are and sort of own it. Stop making an excuse of why we can't do things. And just for my gen, especially because our culture's dying out. I just wanted to say, while our culture's still there, be proud of it. And that's where Brown Pride came from. But that's what it means to me. It means the world to me. It means as well as my family, a reason to stay alive. It's because people back it. So I'm not I didn't take that for granted.
That's mean.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Hey, also, I think that a lot of the viewers who are watching this, and most particular the young men, I think young men who kind of have aspirations to be businessmen and so forth. And just out of curiosity, also, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
26.
26, and that's still very young. And so you got to have some young men thinking, hey man, how old is Johnny? And some young men are probably aspiring to kind of, I want to do my own business, but they're so afraid. There's a lot of barriers there. And so what was it that the finding moment for you to say, you know what, I'm gonna quit my 9 to 5, I'm gonna go into business, I'm just gonna take that leap of faith? Because I think a lot of guys may be curious, like, how did he do it? So tell us, what was the time when you said, I'm gonna take that leap of faith and just do it?
Yeah, my one was like back in 2014 or 15. After I finished school, my first year out of school, I lost my old man, and he was like, he wasn't like, say what people call the best dad. He wasn't around much. He was like running business, and he was in and out of home and stuff. So, but I learned heaps from his business mentality. And my mom was someone that cared for everyone. Like, she was one person, 8 on 8. So I had like the heart from my mom and the work ethic from my dad, or like the business mindset from my dad. When he passed away, I was like the man of the house, so-called man of the house. And then boom, boom, bang, I found out I was having a son. Wow. And that was like, in 2015. And then I sort of was realizing that when my dad passed away, he didn't leave anything for me and my siblings. It was like, I don't think he was doing cues. It was like $4,000, like, and that wasn't even enough to cover like his funeral and stuff. Man. So like when I knew I was having a son, I was like, I didn't want to like one day die and know that I haven't left him anything. So I started just like exploring this whole thing of leaving a business behind. My dad was like, he started like the Otara markets, the Otahu markets. And I still remember those days when Otara was just like in that little hall, the flea markets. And my dad kept going with this white dude and just asking the council, can they use the car parks as well? And then they gave them 1 lane, and then slowly it just grew. Then my dad done the same thing at Otahu markets and grew that. So he was always like thinking of things like that, but he never had his own business. Like, that's just helping the council grow their business. But I sort of had that. I wanted to make something that I could leave for my son. I knew flea markets wasn't a place to start. I started exploring like that side and started chucking ideas at my group of mates. There's 6 of them. There's 6 of us. What we call our Brown Pride core team, and we like. We're thinking of random ass stuff like running like a recruitment agency and running security business, and we started like working towards it, and then it was just all failing. And then I jumped into a business course and done business courses at Te Wangana and AUT, and that really set my mindset that I want to do something. But what I learned at Te Wangana and AUT was different, and Te Wangana was like around like everyone in Southside, so it was like islanders, and our mentality was real like humble and then shoot full of stars. And it was sort of annoying because I was the youngest in that class, but the ideas were just old school ideas. Like, no one was thinking different. It was just either be a lawyer or open a little doctor's hub or something. I wanted something different. When I went to AT, I was like with Palangis, Asians, Indians. No one got my joke, so I didn't get theirs. But it was cool because I was out of my comfort zone, and I wanted to drop out at my first class, just because I didn't get, and no one really knew where Manariwa was. They just knew it was South Auckland, and I was like, oh shit, I wouldn't really get along with these dudes. But to see there how like Palangis and Asians think, like there's no limit. There was like dudes saying he's gonna record like the biggest real estate and do videos for Parliament, and I was like, this dude's an idiot. And now he is. Whoa, he's like the cameraman for the Parliament. What? And it was like just a young Palangi Ranga dude, and I was just looking at him like, fuck, this guy's never gonna. And I not buzzing like see him, and just to get out of my comfort zone, that like made my ideas were just non-stop. And then now with Brown Pride we got the music, we got barbershop, we got our recruitment agency, we got our employment programs. Yeah, everything sort of popped off, and I felt like it was just because just took that little leap of faith and went somewhere I'm uncomfortable.
That's mean. And so when Dad passed away, and sorry to hear, you were 20?
Yeah.
You were 20, just finished high school, and then, you know, your group of friends, so there's 6 of you, were any of them like business orientated? Because when I'm thinking last hour, I'm thinking about you're in the garage, you guys are drinking. Should we start something? Because I remember having those talks, but we were like, Sole, which ATM are we gonna? So explain what that that conversation was like. And
I love my friends. Shout out to T, Tino, Talili, Jai, and Rich. Like, we've known each other since we were like in primary school. Myself, Rich, Jai, and Talili, we went St. Anne's, and then we all went La Salle together. With Tino and T, they're Mangry boys, but Tino was my cousin, and T just fit into our circle. And like we've always bounced with different friends or groups that you hold out with, but like at the end of the day, I always knew those guys are the real boys. And we were just drinking like together. We finished La Salle and then started working at Cadbury under Francis, and like he's an older La Salle boy, and he looked after us. And just every weekend our whole pay would just go on drinking and then go to nightclubs and getting up to mischief, and then I was repeat the next weekend, and it was just like rotating. Then we all moved to Kunenagel under one of our cousins, Jeremiah Foy, and he was like teaching us to be better, just better than forklift drivers. And Francis pushed us to be better than we were. But Joe and Francis were both like big bosses, and he kept pushing us to learn the computer, and we're like, stuff this. It was more money. More money meant more drinks, more outings and stuff like that. And just lucky, or like with my son coming into the picture, lucky that happened, because every weekend we bought this pool table on Facebook. I asked the boys, what do you reckon? We'll grab a pool table and chuck it in my mom's house, and we just jam. And that was our play series. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday night, just drink at mine, and then see where the wind blows us. One random Friday, they all came over for the drink, and we were just playing pool table and drinking, and like this idea of like starting business was in my head and on the whiteboard. Then I just asked them, so like, can you come in my sitting room? And I just talk about something, and they all came in with their drinks, laughing. I think once they saw the whiteboard, they were like, oh shit, and they just put their drinks away, and I just spat the idea at them, and they just been backing me ever since. Till today, 3 of us have left our full-time jobs, and we're just working at Brown Pride. Tino's gone to Oz, he's playing rugby, hopefully crack a pro contract. He's already on a semi-pro contract, and then there's only 2 that are left at work. Well, my goal by the end of this year, they should be full-time at Brown Pride as well. But it's just, and then none of us are like smart, or none of us were like ducks or anything, but we just, like our strengths complement each other. And we got our backbone, who's T, my best friend. He was meant to be here, Peter Farlini. He's the spine of the whole Brown Pride. He's that friend that'll grow you off for doing Valera stuff. He's that friend that'll drag you to give some money to your mom, or like he's the one that's praying for us every Sunday, like the only one that still goes to church. And I think if you have that one guy in that group, regardless if everyone's, like 5 idiots, one good leader can lead you. So you were blessed. No one's flashy, like you're just casual ass dudes.
Wow, man.
I love the picture of like the boys, you guys there to play pool and hang out and drink, and then you wanting something different, and the fact that the boys were willing to, because last Saturday, if it was my boys and I came and whiteboard and I was going, so I got to Saturday, they'll be like, but your boys were able to like, oh shucks, this is serious, and And when you have a kid, it teaches you to be selfless. Like you got to take care of someone else other than yourself. And so it's cool to see that mind shift. And look where you guys are now. You guys are able to inspire another generation that probably don't have hopes and dreams, but you're able to inspire them to have that hope and dream. And I love it also. Well done, bro. That's cool.
So true. So because there could very well be someone watching this, Johnny, probably sitting there thinking, and with their mates, like, man, I have no idea. But for you to share that, and it probably will inspire someone, or inspire many young men out there, like, aspiring businessmen. But I love how you said comfort zone, or get out of your comfort zone. And so I know it'd be very hard. And so in particular, our Pacific and our Māori folks are kind of hard to get out of that cluster, and out of our comfort zone, and out of our own group settings. And so also, so when you were in that course, whatever you were doing in that business course, what made you stay in? I know you talk about your son, but what kind of made you like, I need to do this? Was it just sheer determination, or was it just, I got a goal, I got a vision, I got to follow through?
Yeah, I feel like no offense to Tiwanga, no. But like because they're like led by Pasifika and Māori, and like it's in the hood, like I don't know whether it's looked down on and they think, let's make the course easy because these are people, let's make the whole course systematic, where we were learning about marketing, accounting, freaking like Valea has little aspects of business, like old school. Whereas when I went AUT, it was just, what's your passion? What do you enjoy? Sweet. How do you make money from that? And then just breaking that down. Like these days, people are paying an accountant. These days, people are using social medias for free. And these days, you can make money off anything, or just sitting on your phone, you can make money. And it was sort of pissing me off that. And I was the first ever brown dude to do that course. And that was like 9 rounds in, or I think I was cohort 9. And the tutor was like, you're the first ever islander. And I was like, I'm gonna. But it's funny because the course is like 12 weeks, and then you split your idea in front of like angel investors, like rich dudes that want to invest. And I spent my idea, and like no one like wanted to invest or anything. But this one singer lady came up to me and told me, your idea is sort of like got some stuff to work on, but like don't give up on it. Like you'll be the first ever to do that. And even though like all of them, or most of our class got like couple thousands to start off. I left with nothing, but I left with like someone that doesn't look like me, and she's not from my hood. She's backing me, so I was like, there must be something in it. Man. But it was cool. Like even at that presentation, just being the only brown dude, I was like, I wanna make it normal that brown guys are in this room. And like having cheese and crackers and just act like you like it. I was like, maybe if I eat these cheese and crackers, the investor might be, Sally, here's $1,000.
The mole mangava ones.
Just act like you drink wine as well. But, I was like seeing this little things like that. I was like, if I'm able to be the first brown dude to finish this course, then I'll have that label. Don't mind if I leave with nothing. At least I can be the first.
Man, just the mental fortitude to have that, because I think any other ordinary guy would have said, no, I don't have to present in front of these investors. I'm out of here. But for you to have the guts and the courage to go, I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm going to represent my people, and I'm just going to represent my culture and still follow through. And regardless of whoever invested knew or whoever was there, but for you to do that takes a lot of courage. And I think, because I've heard this before, time and time again, my wife always says, when a brown man enters into a room, and it could be different cultures, but if they come into the room and they talk about something and they have a spiel, that people listen. And so for you to represent our people and with courage, bro, I can understand why you got the brown pride. It is pride. You just make me want to jump up. It's like, it's just, awesome. That's awesome, man.
Sure rules. And you said number 9, eh? What episode are we, Us?
9.
Something about number 9.
Number 9.
So you're number 9 tonight.
I must have 9 kids.
9 businesses. I don't even know why I mentioned.
But yeah, this is our first guy that's under 30. That's on the show. So representing a whole new audience. So it's inspiring, honestly.
It is, man.
So, a lot of us are all proud Southsiders, brown pride. So yeah, keep on doing what you're doing. It'll be exciting to see where you guys are in 5 years' time. And hopefully you guys keep on pushing us. Just in terms of so that was your guys' journey, and it just shows that you've got a real cool tight group, and they're all willing to sort of evolve themselves. But what was it like for you at high school? Did you guys were all of you prefix, or what was it like for you at high school? Because some young people are probably listening and go, oh man, he probably passed all his level 1s, 2 and 3.
Oh yeah, I did. I did. For me at school was I went from St. Anne's, and to be with the same boys for 6 years of your first schooling, you just get used to that. Then when I went to La Salle, silly, it was a different story. It was we for St. Anne's, we thought we're the top dogs, just because around Rio, if you go to St. Anne's, your family's rich in the hood. So I went to La Salle and then come across St. John's boys and St. Joe's, and they're just as hearty about their primary. And just to see us go from arguing who's best primary to becoming friends was pretty buzzing. If anything that I'm thankful for, besides my family, I'll probably be going to La Salle. Those 7 years, as overused as it is, the 7 years I spent at La Salle, my best years of my life. And it's not just being biased because we all La Salle. I learned heaps from there. In my early when we started going La Salle, and then my younger siblings were born and they started going. I think with the more siblings we had, and we were in college, me and my sister, she was at Macaulay. I think all that money stuff started playing with my family at home, with mom and dad. The whole money situation was starting to fucking with the relationship. And that sort of fucked with my head as a kid going through school. My year 7 and 8 was all good, it was all right. Then year 9, 10, 11, my mid-years was when I was becoming, not the greatest student. I was just, anything that was happening at home, I was taking it to school. If I was angry, I'll take it out on annoying the teacher, or just starting a fight with someone in school. But it was just built up anger carried from him. I can't beat up my siblings. I can't beat up my parents. So it was I'll take it to school. But then when you get to year 11 and it's La Salle against the world, we started this thing called Valukasi in my year 11 year. And the whole plan of Valukasi was to take out every school, the best from every school, and just represent La Salle. But that kid, that was built out of just anger, and a lost kid just going through puberty and fucked up shit at home. And let's build this whole gang thing called Valukasi. And I know heaps of people rep Valukasi, but the real intention or the reason we started repping Valukasi was we wanted to be a crew of La Salle boys that gave everyone hiding, and I love doing that. I love the whole brotherhood that came with it, and just going out and just beating up people or fighting whoever from other schools was my thing. That was where I was getting enjoyment from. Wow. And that was year 11. Year 11 was when I started drinking, started the whole party scene, and just started getting into dumb fights over dumb shit, some girl said this about you, and some girl told us this boy said something from that school. And then in the train we went, and on a little road trip we went, and then I think it was year 11 when they tried to kick me out. That was probably my 4th time getting stood down, and they sent me to the board, and that was when Francis was on the board. And luckily, the acting principal at the time, his name's Dermot, Mr. English, he didn't, he forgot to do the paperwork and stuff. So I was given a second chance. And I remember just my mom being sad and saying how much she depended on me being the oldest at home, like to lead by example. And I could just see how ashamed she was, like embarrassed she was that she even had to come to school to watch me get kicked out or whatever. But lucky they gave me the second chance, and she told me if I didn't become a prefect or get good grades by the end of year 12, then she's gonna pull me out of school. And we'll just, my dad was trying to get me to go to Oz, live with him. I was like, nah, man, that was the best thing that's happened to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, like since I started La Salle, I knew my best day would be the day I walked past as a graduating. So yeah, I was just, I told my mama, I'll do it. And I ended up being prefect in the year 12.
Wow.
Finished level 1 with excellence, finished level 2 with merit. And then
Wow.
I fluked it. I don't know how I fluked it even to this day. Or the teacher's like, I don't know how you became prefect.
Oh man.
But then I finished my last year of school as a prefect.
That's crazy, man. What a story, man, Johnny.
That's cool.
Oh man.
It's funny because like after I finished La Salle, the same principal, Mr. English, that tried to, was signing my papers to kick me out. He hired me to come in as a careers advisor and help out with the leaders. So it was buzzing. I still owe it to him that he didn't fill out this paperwork to kick me out.
Yeah.
Because I still believe to this day these are my greatest years.
Wow.
Even if it was dumb, some stuff were dumb, I didn't regret it. I learned heaps from that. Yeah.
That's an awesome story, also, and shot for the transformation. Reminded me of one of the boys that sort of went through a similar journey. We mentioned you, Osasa. Because you ended up going back and helping out with the school, eh? I remember a couple of years ago, I think we went to the old boys went back to part of the assembly because the massive fights between the schools and I know you were right in the thick of things, like and you would have understood what some of these boys were going through. What was that time like, and what was some of the encouragements you were sort of mentoring the boys about?
It was I still what is it? I regret that they were like because that Friday was I ran youth at La Salle, but because La Salle couldn't pay me a certain amount of money, I was working 2 jobs. So I was working at La Salle and at Jets Fitness, and like when I was leaving, I was going to work to get something to come back for youth. I think I was going to use the printer to print out youth stuff because my printer La Salle didn't have any more money. So I was heading to Jets, and when I was driving out, I noticed something. Well, when the boys are up to something, and they like gave me this look, and I was like, "So what are you up to?" And they're like, "Oh, nothing, sir, just heading home." And I was like, "Oh, aren't you waiting for youth?" But they were wrapping shirts around their fists and stuff, and I was like, "Fuck, something's up." So I drove out of Grey left towards Macca's on Grey Ave, and I was like, "Nah," something was telling me, "Nah, something's up." Then I U-turned because the traffic was bad, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just kick back at La Salle." And when I was driving back, I could see a crowd of boys running from Middlemore, and it was a massive mess, and everyone was fighting, and I was trying to stop it, and I saw knives come out and shit like that, and then they were saying, "Oh, Kaz is stabbed," and Kaz is one of my nephews, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Out of everyone to get stabbed, I just had to, and I was just pissed off at the boys, that they scooped down to that level, and the main thing I was pissed off is that they ran away, this is for La Salle, this is our grounds. We didn't run away from anyone. We didn't leave anyone behind. But when they were running, I saw boys La Salle at the back getting beaten up, and And I was like, hey, the fuck is happening? Like, is that La Salle running? Like, the boys ran into like our school gates. Like, that was embarrassing.
Dang.
Like, if anything, we pride ourselves in brotherhood. Brotherhood's not like leaving one outside the gate to get fussy or one outside to get stabbed, things like that. And I gave it to them. I told them, like, fuck, that's the first time. And even with through the old boys that I ever heard of La Salle running at their own school.
Yeah, man.
Like, I'm not what do you call it, encouraging fighting and stuff like that, but I'm encouraging brotherhood. Like, either you walk away in the first place, or if you go to the scrap, you make sure everyone is safe, and you're the ones that put yourself in that situation. Then go to the situation, and then I'll leave half the group there, and I'll run back and hide in school.
Wow.
But yeah, that was just a miss. Like, my emotions were in a miss. Like, the teacher in me wanted to say you shouldn't have fought and shit, but the boy in me, or the man in me, or the La Salle in me knew that shit just happened. Like, fuck, you're little kids, like, you're young dudes, like, you got reputations or you got things like that to uphold, and dumb shit will always happen. Boys will always fight. I don't know why they keep saying boys stop fighting. It's like, boys will always fight. There'll be some reason to fight. But yeah, the teacher and me want to say stop and shouldn't have went there in the first place and shit like that. But I guess, like, me being there and done there, like, it's bound to happen. But running away, and that's not a La Salle thing to do. Or leaving a brother to get hurt, that's not like a La Salle thing to do. And going to a fight, like, in the first place, again, that's not La Salle, but that's just the whole thing of trying to be a man or whatever. Everyone's got a different definition of a man. Some guys think that being the toughest, which was my mentality growing up, that was a man. But the older you get, the more less blurry that whole vision of being a man becomes. Yeah.
I think that's a good segue. Also, because you said the younger you would have said define a man in a certain way, but what does a man mean to you now? Like, what's the definition for you now? Since you're older now, also.
It'll probably change again in a couple of years to this age.
I think a man for me is a provider. They're like, right now, I think the biggest messed up thing about what I'm doing and what a lot of guys are doing, like, whether it's business or community work, is like Butterbean was saying, is the balance and the time. But I know, like, as dumb as it may seem, like, and especially me, like, with like, I hated it growing up with an absent dad, that my parents are split and shit like that. I feel like providing is better than, like, you being present, like, because you being present, once you die, you're gone, like, and that's gonna be something you can't get used to, like, your dad not there. Because my dad wasn't there, I'm sort of all good with it, but I wish he provided something for us. Like, now, like, even if I was to die, like, I didn't mind if I died today, because I knew I got something that'll live forever with my son. Whereas if I spend time at home with my son and not building brown pride, then when I die, there's fuck all left for him. Whereas if I know some people will probably hate this shit. Like, they want a man as a guy that's home all the time, or that's present. Like, what's the use of being present if when you die there's nothing left? Like, my thing is that I provide while I'm alive, I provide when I'm dead.
Wow, that's cool.
That's good insight.
Good insight.
Because I think back to my dad. We didn't have that that relationship where you, like, talk and I can come to him and get dad, you know. He was always working and he did his thing, but he provided for us. So I never had this, like, anger towards him or bitterness that he wasn't around. Because mom was always there, and so I always loved them too. But so it's cool hearing, like, some, like, a different insight, and for everyone's different. But that's a good insight. Like, provide while I'm still here, and you know, to go back to some of the programs you guys do, because you're doing fighting programs now, eh?
Yeah,
and I know you're not trying to build an army to go and fussy. But, you know, it's, I guess I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you know, because some of our young people, especially poly, we got a lot of frustrations. Like, we take what we you know, see and experience at home, and we have to come to school, and sometimes, most of the times, we're on survival mode. And so, you know, fighting. What does fighting do for? I mean, not fighting, but what does the discipline of martial arts do for our young people?
Yeah, it's probably like one thing that got me on track. Like, when I found out, Mom, that I was having a son, like, one of the first people I told was my boxing coach. I just started boxing after my old man passed away. One of my close ones was Talili. He's part of the core team. He was like, came back from fighting in Oz, and he was like, "Oh, you should give it a jam since you're all good." And then I started like doing a couple of boxing fights, and then I joined the boxing gym over at Pep Boxing Club. That's Joe Parker's old and Moseo Matangi's. But there's a goinga there named Grant Ako. He's our coach there, and he was like a father figure to me, especially with the absence of my old man, like over and all, and then passing away. Like, I went to him for everything. I remember telling him I'm gonna have a son, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you need to if you want to take boxing serious and to make money, or you can start your own business. Like, you're not gonna have enough to provide, and if you're working and doing what I was doing." And he told me to take boxing serious, but just boxing alone was mean discipline. Like, even though it's fighting and it's violence, and people might see it as a violent sport, there's a lot of little aspects like with like a normal jab. Like, some people would just see it as a jab, but if you break it down, there's timing, there's everything. Like, if you can get that on time, a jab on time, like, you'll turn up to work on time or shit like that. There's heaps of elements of discipline, like just eating right. Like, you feed your body good stuff, and your body will give you good results. And like, timing was there, like just hard work and learning that you can't depend on anyone in life. Like, in the ring, it's on you. If there's anyone to blame, it's you. You can't blame your coach. You can't blame the ref. It's like a one-man sport. Whereas rugby, you can blame it on the halfback. He didn't give a good pass. Blame it on the kicker. He didn't kick out goals. Whereas boxing gave you like a one-man discipline. Like, if you can't make it on your own, you can't do it in the real world then as well. Yeah, and I love that. Like, I love boxing and exercising in general. If you can last like a strong fight or last a good exercise round, like, that builds your mentality and to push past when you want to give up. Whether it's physically or mentally, the more you do it, it becomes a habit that when shit gets hard, I've been here. I've been dying for air before when I was running, or I've been sore when I was boxing, but I still got through. And the same mentality you take to whatever you do.
Oh man.
And I guess it's a real good outlet for us as well, instead of using it on the streets. We've got somewhere to go to and fussy the bang.
It was like, 'cause especially like finishing work, I'd go training, and like, I dropped all my emotions there, and I learned. I felt like I was a better person when I went home to my family. And, it was cool. I highly encourage like doing something physical.
It's good, man.
And scientifically, says that the chemicals released serotonin and endorphins that feel good. I didn't even know that, like, science, but I know that. I think it's good. Just trying to sound like
no, he's right.
So what?
He's on.
Releases something.
Figure Mr. Bennett.
No, that's me.
Also, hey, just wondering as well in terms of your boy. And so obviously he must think the world of you, and vice versa, you must think the world of him. And so what's the dreams for? Obviously, these parents have dreams for their kids, but obviously the kids have their own dreams. But for right now, what are you hoping to mold and shape your young boy into?
I think for me, all I want my son to go into is just to like I really like want them to not give a shit about anyone. Like, I wish my parents taught me like it's like a real islander thing, like of respect and humbleness and shit. And that holds us back from heaps. And now growing up, I'm like, fuck, I held back from heaps of shit I could have done. Especially just like getting into business. It's like, I can see the potential in our people, but it's sad that they just hold back. And it's like, thank you, please, to everything. And let's take off your shoes at the door, or things like that. And I love the humility in our culture, but at the same time, that this allows us from doing certain things and getting in certain places and sitting at certain tables.
Wow.
I want my son, as long as he doesn't care about anyone and respectfully, I'll be happy. Like, I don't care what he is, but if he's like, I want him to grow up to be his own man. Like, don't take shit from no one, but respectfully doing that.
So you mean you don't care about what other people think of you? It's funny, like the dumbass ideas that we do, and I chuck it at the boys and I chuck it at my family and friend, because they love you so much, they're gonna try and hold you down or say that it's a bad idea, or this might say that, or then I'm like, fuck, I don't give a shit about anyone. I don't give two fucks what anyone will think. Or that's cool.
That's sort of my mentality.
That's cool.
It's cool, man. That's cool, Johnny, because I think a lot of our men, and you're right, you're absolutely right in terms of if we are talking about our Pacific men and our Māori men, there's that humility that restricts us from kind of pushing ourselves forward. I don't want to be noticed. And so, what do you think? Because it seems like a recurring theme. A lot of the men have come and talked about humility. It can be quite a barrier for our people. What do you think needs to change for our men to kind of like, to say, hey, I can still be respectful. I can still be humble, but I need to go forward. And is it redefining the definition of humility for our people, or is it just we just need to change our mindset? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like there's a massive difference with being humble and being respectful. Like, you can be the most cocky person respectfully. Like, there's a way to do that. There's I feel like it depends on the situation that you're in, but there's always ways to be cocky or confident, but respectfully. Like, if anything in our culture that I highly respect is our element of respect. Like, I feel like humility and respect are two different things. If we dropped the humility and just maintained everything, or like made respect our foundation, I feel like that goes further than humility, because you can be the most arrogant or confident person, but respectfully. But sometimes you can't do that if you try and show humility. And it's probably not even arrogance, it's just being confident, hey? Just confident in yourself. But sad sometimes our people are like, oh, what a fear. But we should be uplifting. And you're right, I 100% agree in terms of there should be more of our men and out there, our people out there running businesses. But because of that stuff, the element that kind of restricts us. But yeah, man, that's and I love it. I love it that you do that, and I love it that you try to instill that in your son to be confident, but also respectful. That's cool, man. Awesome.
Do you think question for both of you, like, do you think we need to redefine the term humility? Because I think we're like, we got this false idea of what humility is. And so in one sense, when we're looking at being humble, we're sort of like, oh, no, you go. And I feel like that's false humility. But when we talk, for me, humility is, doesn't matter who you are, what status you have, I'm going to serve you. I'm gonna respectfully be there for you. I'm gonna come down from whatever I carry, but I'm still serving you. I still offer to you. But I'm not gonna I'm not gonna devalue who I am as a person to make you up there. So I feel like just hearing all the conversations around humility, we I think as a people we just need to redefine what humility is. And sort of like, just live it out in a different way.
Yeah.
Well, am I talking kaka?
No. I would 100% agree, Oos, man. And totally up to you, your thoughts as well, Johnny. But in terms of humility, and I think for the longest time, our people are very respectful. But also, I think Dave Leteli said it. Oh, was it Jay? Jay said something about being a doormat. I think it's that wrong sense of when you be a doormat, you're serving and you're putting others before you. But it's not, because it's not the humility. I don't think it's true humility. It's about, because there's a lot of people I know, including myself. You can I'm being humble and all that kind of stuff. But in the back of your head, in your mind, even your kumumu, you're just I'm complaining. It's not even humility. It's being honest, but also like you're saying, you don't devalue yourself. You can still be confident and still be humble and be respectful and say, hey, little things like Elioto was saying last time. People say, those guys in the UK playing rugby. Hey man, you played a good game. Oh yeah, thanks mate. Oh man, awesome. Yeah, I agree as well. Whereas our people, hey Johnny, whereas our people, you had a good game. Nah. You're a good singer. You're a good singer. Oh no, not really a good singer. But you're a good singer. You're a good player. Yeah. And so I think the more of us who say, hey, are able to be confident. Yeah, I am good at this, but also be respectful. That's my take. I think for the longest time, and I'm just talking from my own experiences, that we put ourselves down. And it's not right, because imagine, like you're saying, Johnny, imagine the opportunities for our people, because that have been lost. Because we say, I'm not. But by knowing very well, you are probably the best candidate, the best person to do that, fulfill that. Man, so cool. That's a cool conversation.
Yeah, I wonder if we use the term humility or to be, just being humble, to sort of like use it as an excuse to not pursue certain things.
That too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But not in your case, man. Not in your case, man. You gotta say, but bro, you did it, man. You're doing it. You're 26 and you're doing it, man.
And you have a space where you can sort of push others. You got your boys. You got a lot of people coming through your guys' doors. We get to speak into that space and go, hey, we're doing it. You can do it.
Yeah. That's all. Like, and like for someone like in this age, or like someone in our hood, or to say that, to start that, like, it's like it's not even tall poppy syndrome. It's just our people. Like, our people are the only ones that drag us down. And I know some of them like listen to me and they're like, this guy's probably on crack or something, thinking that we all can do this shit. I was like, we got the best, like, because we got reasons to do. And we would like, there's a saying that rock bottom is the best foundation. Like, we're at rock bottom. Like, we're as broke as a joke out here. It's like, this is the best place to start. And when you've had nothing, then you know, like, that you want to work for everything that's around you. Like, that's better than having everything and just chilling. Like, I get sick of, like, especially my gen, like, we're freaking spoon-fed this shit. Like, if I look at the generation older than us, the first to come to New Zealand, like my parents, like, they set the foundations for our families, and then their first line should be the first line they start, like, being ruthless with their ideas. Like, they're the ones that were, thank you, yep, I'll do this, I'll do that, to get our foot into New Zealand. Now that our feet are planted and we're established here as islanders, at the next line, it's up to us. Like, we've seen our parents work hard, and we know what hard work looks like, and then we know what technology, what working smart looks like. And we're the perfect balance. Like, my gen is the perfect balance of what hard work and what smart work looks like. And fuck, I get sick and tired of my generation, like my age, like fucking kamumuing and complaining about their jobs. And like, bro, fuck, we got it way easier than everyone before us. Like, even when our parents tell their stories of walking 10 miles to go to, it's like, fuck, that's no shit. Like, they're not talking shit. Like, look at how dudes, like, I have dudes at the gym that complain that they gotta walk or they have to run like 1K. It's like, like, I feel like the younger the gen gets, the softer they try to make the excuse that they're trying to work smart. Fuck, nah, you're just a lazy fuck.
Wow, well, bro, I love it, man.
It's just like, I feel sad for the older gen, especially our parents. I'm not saying I'm the best son to my mom, but like, to see where they've set us up and to see how dudes just being lazy, it's like, oh fuck, like, don't say you're making moves, or don't say we're Generation X or the new thing. Is like, bro, like, half this gen is full of shit. Like we got everything spoon fed, like chucked at us. It's just you're just sitting around, just rather take Instagram stories about the hustle and not hustle.
But what is it? Because that's a good point, Johnny. And Charles, do you think the generation you said the generation, every generation, the new generation that comes up, it seems like it's getting weaker. Do you think and you said getting spoon fed and all that. What do you think in terms of our generation? Is it just our men, or more so our men? What do you think about our men and this? What do you think of the societal pressures that our men are facing that have made them soft or weak?
Oh, before the ooze goes in on the gen, I think because he's right. But when you look at the older generation, and they came here and they're looking for a better future, and man, they had to like really pave the way. Like they came here, half of them had to do jobs that they didn't even want to do, and they couldn't even. They had to navigate English and trying to, you know, talk to people that or communicate with people that are always telling them what to do. But they owned houses, they had jobs, and then sort of when we came in, I feel like because we sort of were the in between, trying to be first generation New Zealand born Samoans, we're trying to navigate this new space, but at home we're still getting taught these old values, and so you're still experiencing all this hard life, or just I'm speaking for me. And then so my generation, when we're trying to teach it, when we have our kids, because we struggled, we don't want them to go through what we went through. So it's almost like it's our fault because we spoon fed them. We don't want them to. We're trying to set them up, or which we're sort of providing all the stuff for them so they wouldn't experience
the hardship,
some of the trauma that we went through. But the danger in that is that, shucks, we're not preparing them for the real world. We're sort of like, we're always dropping them off everywhere. Like, oh, can you pick me up? Okay. My gosh. So we give the speeches around, back in my day we had to walk there, but we still do. So I don't know. I think there's like it's being shared on this table. There's a balance. There's a fine line on how do we sort of navigate through the space of giving them the tools, but also like giving them the freedom to sort of make the mistakes. Because it's like almost like teaching Micah's, this is what you do, but you're always there to pick them up. So I feel like, there's a generation there in between. It's their fault that the generation is.
That's a good point.
I think that's just part of it, but you might have a different insight.
Like because I feel like there's an older gen before me, which is like
his generation.
It's like the ones like that were still like before technology fully took over. Like my school days was when technology was like social media was fully taking over. So my gen should be the ones that are like, we got social media, like we got the whole world in our hands, like with the phone. And for us to be still mucking around, and we have resources all like you can search up anything online, and we got all the resources at our hands, and we're like the next one, like. Whereas the oldies, they set it up, and then the firstborns, they were the ones that were sort of, the in-betweeners, like they were still getting taught the old school cultural Samoan ways and whatnot, and then they learned different stuff at school. Whereas our gen came in, we were learning less Samoan, some more Pahalangi stuff, and then the whole world on our phone. So there's no excuse for us to not be able to do certain things because we had the whole world in our hand. We still had culture, we still had education, and now we got like every answer we need on our hand off a phone. Like, because I know you probably in school didn't have phone use.
Nah, who didn't have phone? I just had a long cord.
Last year we started getting Alcatels. If you had a phone, if you had a Nokia, you're the man.
You're the man. When I was finishing school, like we were already up to like iPhone 4 or 5, I think. So
I
like,
feel old now.
yeah, like the whole world was at your hand. Yeah, the whole world, like everything you could do.
Wow.
Open a business on your hand. Open some online like trading on your like with your phone. Like,
Yeah, man.
So with all of that, like, what do you encourage our young ones and the next generation, like, in terms of what's available to them?
yeah, like don't like. I feel like it's like the main thing is don't use the excuse of working smart. Like that's I hate that shit. Like there's no such thing as work. So where you have to work hard with these smart things.
Wow.
Like the phone is smart, the computer is smart. Fucking work hard with that. Don't pull off this excuse. Oh, I'm working smart. You're full of shit.
Wow.
Like the truth hurts, and like some dudes will hate that shit. They're like, oh, this guy, man, we're meant to be working smart. Like there's ways to work hard with smart shit.
Yeah, there's some guys who just already turned off the.
Yeah, they're like, oh, fuck this guy.
Yeah, and because we're living in a fast-paced world, and everyone wants the quick fix. Everyone wants to be an instant Kiwi.
gratification,
and try to get the big wins. I love what you're saying. You still got to work hard.
Yeah, work. It's just like they're saying this is the generation of working smart. It's like, nah, man, we got to work hard with smart things. Like,
I love that.
Work hard with like the stuff that's around. There's like no excuse. If I wanted to learn how to play piano, I could look online. Like everything is online. Yeah.
Man, technology is just rampant and so does some really good stuff and some bad stuff. But I agree with you, Johnny, in terms of now we get the world in the palm of our hands. All the technology, all this stuff, all this information, and hard work cannot be replaced. Yeah. But I love what you said. Yeah, work hard, but use those resources, use those utensils to work smart. Man, it's just good. Man, you're 26 and you're just.
That's awesome. Gotta get you back when you're 36 also.
And your empire.
You'll be like, nah, work smart. Nah, that's cool. Well, so what's the next step for Johnny, or what's the hope for Brown Pride?
I wanted to go to Oz and open a branch. I was meant to go earlier this year to open a branch with my cousin over in Oz, but he got a contract in Sydney, and Sydney's too busy. I felt like Brizzy, there's quite a few islanders, and it's not as busy as Sydney. Sydney is like a whole new country. So he's over in Sydney playing rugby, but he was the one that we started Brown Pride with. I was like, oh no, I'd rather open one here in Airport Ways. Right now in Airport there's no islander gym. And sometimes like they say they play all your cards or don't tell you on your cards, but sometimes you gotta speak it into existence. So that's probably what I want to do next is open a branch in Airport Ways or out west, or a big one.
That's mean. It's cool.
Yeah, that's so good.
Solly, we'll pray into that, and hopefully that happens. Gary V said, like you said, don't show all your cards or don't share your dreams. But he goes, nah, share all your ideas, share all your dreams, because that's the only way you're gonna get new ones.
Yeah. That's true.
So I'm gonna start sharing my dreams.
I used to
start a gym in the airport too.
I used to be like that. I used to like real like the whole humbleness and humility. Like I used to not tell anyone what I want to do, but my whole thing was I never knew when's my last day. If I was to tell, like if I said it on this podcast, at least everywhere, if I die, everyone has this podcast, or you guys will have the memory if someone says, oh, what did you want to do next? You just can tell them like, he said he wants to, then they can follow it on. It was that and the whole thing of speaking it into existence. If I say it, then maybe 1 year or 2 years you see me, at least you can give me a comment. You got the branch you said you're going to open the airport.
Yeah.
And then that'll be at the back of my head, like, shit, I already said this on a podcast. I want to do it. I have to do it. Yeah. So it's things like that, just speaking it into existence. Like when Brown Pride was first, so the idea, I had a whiteboard at the back of my house, and I would just write that I wanted to have a gym. But in all honesty, like it was Vilima's. Like I tell everyone this. Like I was working at Jets part time, 10 hours, like making 160, 180 a week. I'll put 60 straight on my box of Ilimas, and then the rest was to my mom. And that box of Ilimas gave me the confidence when I drink it to think of random shit. So like a music studio, yo, I have that. Like I wouldn't have the confidence to say I want a music studio in my gym if I wasn't drunk. So as bad as people say alcohol is, it's not alcohol, it's the man with the alcohol. It's what the man does that gives alcohol the bad name. But yeah, in all honesty, it was Vailima that gave me all those random ideas of what Brown Pride is now.
Wow.
People might say, oh, how did you plan this shit? No, I got drunk at my backyard and wrote random shit on a whiteboard and sort of spoke it into existence. Yeah, I'm going to have a music studio. I'm going to be looking after fighters and all random shit. And it's funny how it's coming into fruition now.
Wow.
But that was all just stuff, alcohol and speaking into existence. Not encouraging the whole drinking, but everyone's got a different way. Like one guy might go on a whiteboard and write it. One guy might do it on a software or some shit. For me, it was just drinking in my backyard by myself.
Bro, what a story, man.
Just mean.
What a story. Also, and I'm very conscious of time as well. Also, and I know I guess we can just delve into many other stuff or many other conversations in terms of who you are, Johnny. Oh, bro, it's just I think the biggest thing, the most encouraging thing is that this your age, how young you are. You got a good head on your shoulders, confident. You know who you are in terms of your identity and what you stand for. I love that, Brown Pride. And I think a lot of the men who are watching this are going to be encouraged. I think more so our younger generation and what you've had to share and what you had to say. So also, Tele love also for what you had to share. Charles, anything you want to...
Just really proud, also, like just sitting across from you, seeing you sort of build something from scratch, from an idea, just you and your Vailima bottle and your boys, but just like some of these values that really stand out in terms of friendship, brotherhood, family, the next generation, legacy, our community, and being proud of who you are, and just this respect versus false humility, and continue to do that. Also continue to surround yourself with good people. And yeah, man, when we see you now, okay, hey, Oos, how's the dream going? And keep on dreaming, Oos. Don't forget us.
Hey, Johnny.
Yeah, don't forget us. And just it's cool to get a fresh perspective. And I guess before we sort of start wrapping it up, like any final words you have for the generation, but also our young men?
It's like, it is. It's like true what they say. Like I didn't really get it when I was growing up, that it's hard being a man, and now growing up, like feeling all the pressure, like. Yeah, it is true. Like it is hard being a man, and like growing up is hard in itself. But then, like once you become a man, or you have this whole like you're almost your 30s, like fuck, what are you doing with your life? That buzz and that pressure's on you, and then plus you're your dad. And I know there's some young dads out there. It's keeping your head straight and just don't listen to the voices. Like fuck, I've had heaps of demons tell me shit in my ears, like, and even people. If you can just focus on yourself and keep true to your heart and what's true to you, like your thing might not be Brown Pride or like a thing for everyone. Your thing might be just your own little solo business or be a soul trader or something. But understand that our people didn't travel seas, our people didn't freaking move to New Zealand and buy houses just for us to be bums. That's what I hate, the whole mentality. There's that story about the elephant being tied to a stump. And like a baby elephant, when it's tied to a stump, it can't run away. And regardless how old the elephant gets, how big the elephant gets, if that stump's still small, the same stump, it thinks it can't get away. That's sort of like the excuse that our people use is, because I'm brown, I can't be great. Because I'm from Southside, I'm from a broken home, I can't do this, can't do that. And like I said earlier, that's full of shit. That's the excuse that a lot of our generation is using. and it's overused now. It's time to just, I want to say man up. It's not about being a man, it's just ownership. Like, be proud of, like, we have a culture. Like, us Palangi, what's there's culture? It's jack shit. Like, there's stories all over the show where we know where our people come from, we know what they did and things like that. So be like, as Brown Pride says, be proud to be brown. There's no excuse in there, and if anything, that's a statement. That's an honor to be brown. We got a whole culture, and people make money off our culture, and make movies about our culture. Do you see fucking stories or movies about Palangis? It's rare. It's always popping off when it's about islanders or some native culture, and that's something to be proud of. Like, I never want to be any other color besides brown.
Also, thank you so much. Kudos to you once again, also, and like Charles was saying, proud of you also. Come to the great work you're doing. You and also obviously the prestigious school. What's our thing? What's our Bonham Sutterman? Yeah, nice. But also, hey, this is for you. Every guest that comes on the show or on the podcast gets a gift, and we do a bit of a sketch and a caricature for them. And so also, this is for you on behalf of the Mandate team. I don't love also.
Thanks.
This is for you.
I look skinny. Yeah. Shout out.
Also, thank you so much. Thank you for your time
as well.
Yeah, man. Hey, man.
Someone's stalking me.
Nah, man. Thank
you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, cool. And all the best for the rest of the year.
Yeah, man.
And keep on keeping on. Fight the good fight.
Fight the year. Yes, that's the one. Fight the good fight, man. That's the one.
And to the rest of our audience, fight the good fight, and remember to refine,
unlock,
and take charge.
Mandate.